Hello, hello, hello. So we are going to start CDC Flexi 1 mock analysis. Keshav, we just started. Don't worry about it. So शुरू हो गया है. अभी हम देखते हैं कि क्या चल रहा है, पेपर में क्या था, क्या नहीं है और कैसा होना चाहिए था. और जो कंपैरिजन है प्रीवियस ईयर के कंपैरिजन में हम वो चीजें भी देखेंगे. तो सारी चीजें अभी देखते हैं कि पेपर में क्या क्या है, क्या क्या नहीं है, कैसा है था, क्या होना चाहिए था, क्या नहीं होना चाहिए था. अपन सारी चीजें ही देखने वाले हैं. ठीक है. तो सबसे पहले हम ये देख लेते हैं कि कैट 21 में, कैट 22, कैट 23, कैट 24, उसमें जो 99.5 परसेंटाइल था वो अगर देखें तो एक कंसिस्टेंटली डिक्रीजिंग है. कैट 2024 अगर इसको देखें तो इसमें क्या हुआ कि एलआर बिकेम एक्सट्रीमली इजी और उसकी वजह से ओवरऑल परसेंटाइल शूट कर गया. तो ये जो चीज है ये थोड़ी सी डिफरेंट है कैट 2024 में. अदरवाइज अगर तुम देखो 21, 22, 23 has been consistently declining in 99 percentile, so that was easy, that was getting difficult with every passing year. ठीक है, ठीक है. अब अगर थोड़ा अपन यहाँ देख लेते हैं कैट 24 और कैट अपना सीडीसी फ्लेक्सी 1. सो अगर हम इसमें देखें तो ये जो अपना 99.5 परसेंटाइल बना हुआ है ओवरऑल, वो ओवरऑल अगर तुम ध्यान से देखो तो समवेयर बिटवीन कैट 22 और कैट 24 के बीच में है, कहीं पे तो लटक रहा है. ठीक है. 99.5 99 परसेंटाइल भी लगभग वही है. दोनों के बीच में ही लगभग आ रहा है. अगर तुम थोड़ी लोअर वैल्यूज पे जाओगे तो सारी वैल्यूज मैच होना शुरू हो जाती हैं. तो इसका मतलब ये है कि लोअर परसेंटाइल पे वी आर मैचिंग अप. सो लास्ट ईयर की अगर हम बात करें मॉक्स की, तो लास्ट ईयर हम हायर परसेंटाइल पे भी मैच कर रहे थे, लोअर पे भी मैच ही कर रहे थे. सो मॉक का जो डिजाइन होता है वो हमेशा इस तरीके से किया जाता है कि कैट के क्लोजेस्ट वैल्यू पहुंचे. ठीक है. वीए में अगर हम देखें सो जस्ट गिव मी अ मिनट. अगर हम यहाँ पे देखें फ्लैक्सी का तो VARC का 99.556 के आसपास है. DILR का 24 मतलब आई एम कंसीडरिंग दिस LR इज डिफिकल्ट विद स्कोर. लेकिन जब इसको अगर आप मॉक के टाइम पे सॉल्व करोगे तो मुझे लगता है कि ये डूएबल है, इतना डिफिकल्ट है नहीं. लगा नहीं था इतना डिफिकल्ट है. जीपी सर, आप स्कोर को देख के क्या बोलोगे, इस स्कोर को देख के क्या बोलोगे? DILR का 99.5 24 के स्कोर.
I think I've always maintained that while you can keep comparing data from the previous years, effectively each paper is a different item completely. Okay, and you should not just take it as a benchmark. Ki this paper is equivalent to that, or vis-a-vis CAT 23 or CAT 24. What does it mean? Because ultimately, whatever the paper in front of you, you have to get a good score in that. Okay. So when I look at these scores, when you look at VRC or DILR or QA, I would say don't be too worried about what is it with respect to the earlier papers. As a student, your analysis should be very, very simple. Did I get the score I deserved? Or could I have improved? Or could I have done much better? Okay. And what are the mistakes I committed? What are the things I did right? And this is a learning experience which you have to look at rather than just comparing it, because ultimately which CAT paper are you comparing with is always a question mark. Okay, because if you look at the last 5 years also, CAT 20, let's say CAT, the 2 hour paper which is from CAT 20 to 24, the 5 papers, the cutoffs or the percentiles have ranged from as low as I think 76 marks
76 marks,
for 99 percentile in 23 to a high of 105 marks, I think, or 103 marks. Okay, so there's a huge variation in this. So that's not something I'll ever worry about it, and I'll always say, okay, this was the paper which was in front of me. These are the mistakes I committed. These were the avoidable mistakes. This is how I could have improved my score. Okay.
और मुझे लग रहा है कि अभी मेरे ख्याल से ये अभी बहुत एकदम सीजन का स्टार्टिंग का मौका है, इसलिए बच्चे बहुत ज्यादा प्रिपेयर्ड भी नहीं है. इसलिए एलआर में थोड़ा सा लो भी लग रहा है। और जीपी सर एक बात कहूंगा जो अभी पढ़ाते टाइम मैं अभी भी फेस कर रहा हूँ, पिछले साल भी कर रहा था, कि क्वेश्चन को सॉल्व करने के पहले ऑप्शन पढ़ लो एक बार। वो अभी भी कोई नहीं कर रहा है, सबको लगता है कि आंसर ही निकालना है, आंसर नहीं निकालना है यार, करेक्ट ऑप्शन चूज करना है।
हाँ, so Shashank, जब हम ये बात करते हैं what are my learnings, I'm saying this is the learning you need to take and make sure you implement in the next one. And ये while English में तो मैं कहता ही हूँ, but to me there is a most important area for this is DILR and then quant. So in DILR, if you are not looking at the choices and you're starting to solve, or you're not reading the question before you start to make the table, then it becomes a huge challenge. Okay.
I guess what you're saying works exactly for verbal also. Options देखना पड़ेगा. At least question पढ़ने के बाद you'll have to look at the options before you start answering it.
So the only difference is when we talk about verbal की elimination की, obviously you have to read the choices first, or rather you will read the question and then the choices. Okay. But when we look at the DILR part, even before I start doing the table, I will look at the question and the choices, because that is what will give me some important pieces of information or data which will help me probably get a few questions right even without solving the paper at all.
नहीं, और एक आध कई बार ये भी होता है कि आप किसी एक क्वेश्चन के ऑप्शन पढ़ रहे हैं, उस क्वेश्चन के ऑप्शन पढ़ के ही टेबल फिल हो जाती है। तो I think this happened to me in 2022 कि मतलब एक क्वेश्चन के ऑप्शन पढ़े, उसके ऑप्शन से ही टेबल भी बन गई। मतलब I took 7 to 8 minutes to solve that set. उसको बाद में सॉल्व किया प्रॉपर्ली, सो इट टुक मी अ लॉट ऑफ टाइम। लेकिन अगर क्वेश्चन को केवल बस वही करके कर ले, सो इसके लिए मुझे लगता है कि बच्चों को थोड़ा सीखना पड़ेगा कि ऑप्शन भी देखने हैं पेपर पेन उठाने के पहले। दैट्स अ चैलेंज।
सो शशांक, एक आध लोग पूछ रहे हैं कि when will we be starting, so I'll just so understand this is the data that is showing कि CAT 21, 22, 23, 24 कैसा रहा. Now we will show you the same data going forward for this particular mock, so you will be able to understand कि चाहिए क्या. So yeah, so look at how it pans out. Please, the first point to be noted right before we get into this is कि हर कैट अलग है. आई थिंक जीपी ऑलरेडी मेंशन्ड दैट, शशांक ऑलरेडी मेंशन्ड दैट. हर कैट का कोई लेवल नहीं होता, एक पर्टिकुलर लेवल. It CAT is across levels, so the different sections have different levels at different years. So please understand that there is no single way that CAT is conducted. Even the patterns of the last 4 years of CAT have been slightly different from each other. Right? Okay. So with that, let's get into this one.
अगर 23 का कैट उठा ले तो 23 के कैट में जो क्वांट था वो बहुत ज्यादा डिफिकल्ट था. I think 99 percentile was at close to 23-24 marks in 2023. 24 में LR बहुत ज्यादा आसान हो गया. ठीक है, उसकी वजह से जो LR में 99 percentile 23, 24, 25 मार्क्स पे बनता था, वो साल 37, 38 पे बना, और उसकी वजह से ओवरऑल परसेंटाइल सडनली शूट हो गया. तो वो जो चीज है ना, वो भी देखनी पड़ती है कि, और हम लोग पिछले बार जब मॉक एनालिसिस लेते थे तो हमेशा से एक चीज बोलते थे कि प्री कंसीव्ड नोशन लेके नहीं जाना है, कि मतलब ये मत सोचना कि ये डिफिकल्ट होगा, ये तो इवेंचुअली हमेशा इम्प्रूव भी करना है उसमें स्ट्रेटजी में. नताशा, डोंट वरी अबाउट इट, आई विल कम टू योर क्वेश्चन. ठीक है, कि मॉक एनालिसिस कैसे करनी है तो उस पे आते हैं अभी हम लोग, चिंता की कोई बात नहीं. वी आर गोइंग टू डिस्कस ईच एंड एवरी क्वेश्चन दैट एनीवन इज आस्किंग. मोहित, वीडियो सॉल्यूशन अगर तुम अभी देखोगे तो लाइव हो गए होंगे. सो ये सजील सर, ये अपना इस बार का है.
I will check that. But first of all, quickly, पहले नताशा का क्वेश्चन ही पकड़ते हैं. How are mocks analyzed? So what is the first step in analyzing mocks? So we are not able to go ahead, but let's hold it for a while and answer this question because Reena is also asking this. So how are mocks analyzed? First thing to do is solve the mock again after the actual mock timing. So पहले तो mock को टाइम में लो, उसके बाद आराम से खत्म करके अलग से वो सॉल्व करो क्वेश्चंस कि क्या तुम outside the time period are you able to solve the question. Sometimes what happens, and you will see this, that questions टेस्ट में नहीं हो पाते, एक्चुअल टेस्ट के टाइम में, लेकिन बाहर अगर आराम से दिए जाए तो कर पाते हैं. सो फर्स्ट चेक इफ यू आर एबल टू डू. नाउ This is how you calculate something called an औकात score. औकात score समझाते हैं अभी. अजीब ही औकात score आप समझाना चाहेंगे?
औकात स्कोर बहुत सिंपल है. आई थिंक नाम से ही पता चल जाना चाहिए औकात का क्या मतलब है. ठीक है. एंड व्हेन वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट औकात, वी आर नॉट टॉकिंग अबाउट टाइम प्रेशर. दैट व्हाट इज द नॉलेज आई हैव, जिसके बेस पे मैं कितने साल से, अगर मैं टाइम प्रेशर नहीं होता, जल्दबाजी नहीं करता, आराम से फुर्सत में करता, तो हाउ मेनी क्वेश्चन आर देयर फॉर व्हिच आई हैव सफिशिएंट नॉलेज टू सॉल्व इट कंप्लीटली. Whether it is English, had I read the passage carefully and gone through the choices, would I have got it right or wrong? Okay, so when we are talking about औकात score, we are taking away the time pressure or the time constraint completely, and we are asking you to say, okay, if there was no time pressure, would you have got this question right or wrong? So your औकात score is a score which basically is telling you what is your knowledge base, and had there been no time pressure, what is the score that you would have obtained in this paper. तो अगर आपका औकात स्कोर बहुत कम है, तो उसमें स्टार्टिंग पॉइंट का मतलब है, ये सपोजिंग औकात स्कोर इन इंग्लिश इज पुअर. लेट्स से योर इंग्लिश हैज योर औकात स्कोर इन इंग्लिश इज 12. दैट मींस यू कैन ओनली आंसर 4 क्वेश्चंस करेक्टली. दैट मींस योर रीडिंग इज अ प्रॉब्लम, योर कॉम्प्रिहेंशन इज अ प्रॉब्लम, दैट यू डोंट, योर बेसिक्स ऑफ फंडास ऑफ रीडिंग कॉम्प्रिहेंशन and the verbal logic is very, very poor, and you need to work on that area. Similarly, if your class score in quant or maths, let's say, is 12, out of 22 odd questions, you're able to get only 4 of them right without time pressure also. That means your knowledge base is very, very limited, and you need to start working on your knowledge first. However, if your class score in quant is 34, that means you are able to do 11 or 12 or 13 or maybe about more than 50% of the paper correctly, and hence your knowledge is the way you are attempting the paper is an issue. तो पहला चीज यही है, औकात मालूम होनी चाहिए, कितनी नॉलेज है मुझे, अपनी जो एग्जिस्टिंग नॉलेज के बेस पे विदाउट टाइम प्रेशर क्या स्कोर आ सकता था, वो मेरा औकात स्कोर है.
इसमें खाली ऐड करूंगा एक चीज के इन मोस्ट केसेस आज की तारीख में भी आपका औकात स्कोर आपके एक्चुअल स्कोर से ज्यादा होगा मोस्ट ऑफ द टाइम्स. व्हाट दैट आल्सो मींस इज कि तुमको आता तो है, कुछ क्वेश्चंस यू आर एबल टू डू, maybe not in the time or pressure of the test. So the next step also is to be able to achieve the औकात score and push the औकात score forward, right? So ये अब हम बात कर रहे थे कि how to analyze mocks. So first solve the mocks, find your औकात score. इसके पहले आपको solutions नहीं देखने हैं, वीडियो solutions, text solutions कुछ नहीं देखना है. इसके बाद solutions पे जा सकते हो कि एक बार और ट्राई कर लिया, अभी भी नहीं आ रहा है, अब solutions देखो मैं, ठीक है? That makes sense. ऑल्सो इस स्टेज पे कुछ केसेस में आपका चैप्टर्स चला नहीं होगा. You would not have been taught some topics because the mocks are happening before the course is completed, which is okay, right? In this case, जो एटलीस्ट मुझे आता है, जो मेरा टॉपिक्स हुआ है, am I able to solve those? What has come out as my strength, what has come out as my weakness, ये देखना शुरू करो. अभी तो टाइम है स्ट्रेंथ वीकनेस निकल के आने पे. You will take 5 to 6 mocks before you are able to clearly see what the strength and weakness topics are. But शुरू तो अभी होगा. You can start looking at that. कि अच्छा ये 2 क्वेश्चन में कर पाया, दोनों ही परसेंटेज के थे या whatever, right? So वो समझ में तो आना शुरू हो जाएगा. So this kind of an analysis you start doing. इसके अलावा थोड़ा सा एक्सप्लोरेशन करो. There are 2 things. One is a booster analysis and one is a drill down analysis, which is there in your student portal MyZone, right? बूस्टर एनालिसिस अगेन वो रीसॉल्व करने वाला ही पॉइंट है, जहां आपको पता चलना शुरू होगा कि ये क्वेश्चन अटेम्प्ट करना चाहिए था, नहीं करना चाहिए था, वो समझ में आना शुरू हो जाएगा. You should have left this question, you should have done this question, you would understand there. That's one. Second is drill down analysis, which will go into the depth of your the analysis. So drill down analysis करके एक section है, so please check that. So this is how you should analyze. And then there is a third last thing that I would mention, which will come also over time, it will come in play, is the time productivity analysis. कि मेरा time जो मैंने डाला, I was able to solve a question, but I took 5 minutes to solve the question. Was it worth the time? Could I have done 2 more questions in that? So ये सारी चीजें analysis में धीरे you will be able to cover. Right? So that's the long answer.
And इसमें मैं 1-2 चीजें और ऐड करूंगा कि एनालिसिस में हमेशा ये देखना चाहिए कि कौन से, अभी तो ये पहला ही मॉक है, लेकिन जब हम 6 मॉक 7 मॉक 8 मॉक पे चले जाएंगे, So there is one thing that you need to take care of, कि ऐसा कौन सा पर्टिकुलर टॉपिक है जिसके क्वेश्चन आप लगभग हमेशा कर रहे हैं, ऐसा कौन सा पर्टिकुलर टॉपिक है जिसके क्वेश्चन आप कभी नहीं कर रहे, ठीक है। तो जो क्वेश्चन, जिस टॉपिक का क्वेश्चन आपसे कभी नहीं हो रहा है, उस पे थोड़ा सा काम करके अगर उस टॉपिक का आसान क्वेश्चन आएगा तो क्या मैं कर सकता हूँ। और जब आप क्वेश्चन को रीसॉल्व कर रहे हैं तो उसमें मैं हमेशा एक चीज बोलता हूँ कि कोशिश ये करो कि पेपर पेन यूज मत करो, ठीक है। सोच के करने की कोशिश करो, ऑप्शन एलिमिनेट करने की कोशिश करो। और ये जो चीज है, इसमें लोगों को लगता है कि सर मैं अभी सोचने में 10 मिनट दे रहा हूँ, तो अगर तुम ऑप्शन की हेल्प से आज की डेट में 10 मिनट में एक क्वेश्चन सॉल्व कर रहे हो विदाउट यूजिंग पेपर एंड पेन, ये वेस्टेज ऑफ टाइम नहीं है, दिस इज सिंपली इन्वेस्टमेंट ऑफ टाइम जो लॉन्ग रन में पे ऑफ करेगा। वो अगर आप ऑप्शन की मदद से क्वेश्चन सॉल्व करना शुरू कर देते हैं तो एग्जाम में कम से कम 5 क्वेश्चन जो है वो आपके 30 से 40 सेकंड के अंदर आ जाएंगे। तो इस पे टाइम इन्वेस्ट करना बनता है। ये जो चीज है इस पे बहुत लोग फोकस नहीं कर रहे हैं, तो ये अगर करना शुरू करेंगे मॉक एनालिसिस में तो मुझे लगता है ये काम आएगा। हाँ,
सो गाइस, हाँ, एक लास्ट पॉइंट इस पॉइंट पे बोल देता हूं मैं कि हाउ मच टाइम शुड गो इनटू एनालिसिस। तो मैंने एनालिसिस के अंदर सॉल्विंग भी डाल दिया, राइट? सॉल्विंग करके एनालिसिस करना है। सो एटलीस्ट अगर 2 घंटे का टेस्ट है, यू हैव टेकन 2 hours टू सॉल्व द टेस्ट, इक्वल अमाउंट और मोर should go into the analysis at this stage, because solving will take time.
और उसके बाद ये भी चीज देखो कि जो क्वेश्चन तुमने किया वो सही है या गलत है। अगर गलत है तो गलत क्यों है? इज इट अ सिंपल कैलकुलेशन एरर, इज इट अ कंसेप्चुअल एरर, और इज इट अ कॉम्प्रिहेंशन प्रॉब्लम, कि आपने कॉम्प्रिहेंड गलत कर लिया इसलिए आपका आंसर गलत आ गया। सो कॉम्प्रिहेंशन प्रॉब्लम का एक ही सोल्यूशन होता है कि इंस्टेड ऑफ रीडिंग वेरी फास्ट, रीड इट वेरी स्लोली, ठीक है। कैलकुलेशन एरर का तो भगवान ही मालिक है कि 2 into 4 6 लिख दिया तो भैया वो हो जाता है, वो एग्जाम प्रेशर में सबसे होता है, तो उसका कोई वो नहीं है। सो हर चीज का एक एक इलाज है, लेकिन मुझे नहीं लगता कि कैलकुलेशन एरर का कुछ हो सकता है। बाकी तो सारी चीजें रिजॉल्व हो ही सकती है।
करेक्ट। सो लेट्स गेट इनटू दिस वन। अच्छा, एक मिनट वापस जाएंगे। हाँ, so this is the larger idea about how the percentiles will pan out with at scores, right? At your scores. So अगर आप, for example, just an example, that if you are doing, if you have got 33 marks in VARC, you know that you are sitting at an 80 percentile approximately, right? And your next target should start fixed. However, the next test might not be 80 percentile at 33 or 85 percentile at 35. जरूरी नहीं है, but एक idea आ जाएगा आपको, so you can start planning milestones that this is where I am now, next 5 percentile or next 10 percentiles के लिए कैसे करेंगे. That analysis will help you get to a target based. Again, this is the first test, but 2-3 टेस्ट तुमको लगेंगे to get used to the elimination, the selection of questions, the elimination of options. वो सारी चीजें करने में, आपकी स्ट्रेटेजी रिफाइन करने में 3 टेस्ट लग जाएंगे कम से कम, sometimes 5. Okay, yes please. Can I answer one question? So I think हाँ, मोहित का क्वेश्चन जो है, is there no video solution? Video solutions are live, Mohit. I just checked. So all video solutions of questions are live.
मेरे ख्याल से सर मुझे लगता है वीडियो सॉल्यूशन 7:30 या 7 बजे के आसपास लाइव
7 o'clock लाइव हो गए हैं वो. So in case you can't see them, Mohit, reach out to support@careerlauncher.com. Yeah.
Abhilasha ma'am.
Abhilasha, over to you.
Hello everyone.
Sorry Abhilasha, first of all, happy birthday.
Thank you so much, Sazir.
Congratulations, Abhilasha.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. So well, let's get started. First mock of the season, and the scores that have come in are very interesting. We based this mock on CAT 24 slot 1. So if you look at the patterning of the paper, it has more or less like slot 1 for cat 24, and however the level of difficulty is a little easier because we thought it would be the first mock of the season and we did not want anyone to go into a catatonic shock, and therefore the paper definitely is slightly easier than the cat 24. So all of those who have solved the paper would have realized that the level is a little easier. But if you look at the genres, the type of question, the patterning, it is all almost similar to cat 24 slot 1. So if you look at this, Sazil, I think you are much better at explaining this chart to everyone because I am always scared of the numbers. So if you will do the honors there, then I will take the paper further once we are done with this.
Yes. Quickly, what this means is 99 percentile agar dekhen, the second last column, right? This test you would require a 52 marks to get 99 percentiles, 99th percentile. Now, if you look at the previous CAT papers, just to understand, it was anywhere between 37 to 45, which also means that the cutoff to get a 99th percentile is higher for this mock, which means this mock is probably, because it's the first mock, slightly easier. Now please understand, this is not according to us. ये हम बैठ के डिफाइन नहीं करते हैं, या अभिलाषा मैम या जीपी सर बैठ के डिफाइन नहीं करते हैं कि ये परसेंटाइल ये मार्क्स पे आएगा. इट इज एज पर द स्टूडेंट्स हु हैव टेकन इट, राइट? सो इट इज कंप्लीटली डिपेंडेंट ऑन द स्टूडेंट्स डेटा. जो आप लोग, you guys who've taken the test. So please understand that 52, which means you guys found this test relatively easier than what a CAT generally is. Also, which slowly this will come to the CAT ka range of level also, but we'll see that happening. So 90th percentile, if you see, is 39 marks. Okay, I'll just touch this. 90th percentile is 39 marks, which means 13 questions. Out of 24 questions, only 13 net correct questions if you would have, you would be at a 90th percentile. अब 95th पे चलते हैं. If you have 14 and a half or 15 questions right, approximately 15 questions right, out of 24, you would be at a 95th percentile. And only 16 questions would give you a 97th percentile. You can see 1 or 2 questions more, getting them correct, would give you 2 to 3 percentile jump at this stage. Okay, so out of 24 questions, if I consider 51 also, that is 17 questions. If you have 17 questions net correct, you are at 99 percentile. Okay, so this is what this table really means. We can move to the next one.
Thank you, Sazil. I think that analysis is always very scary for me.
Yes.
All right. So if we are to look at this chart, which is your score versus percentile analysis, we've broken this chart up in the traditional fashion. So we've put all the RCs together in the first section, and the VA section is towards the end. So you will see the number of the questions changing a little bit. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 10, 11, 12, 13, and then 15, 16, 17, and so on. However, if you remember, this mock was patterned on the CAT 24 paper. So therefore, the questions were jumbled. Now, till CAT 23, the question paper was such that the reading comprehension passages used to come first, and then the VA questions used to come. But this year, there was a huge change in the VA section, in which case what happened was that the VA questions were interspersed with the reading comprehension questions. So earlier, while we used to say, okay, you could go to question number 17 and start off with your VA, this time students could not really go to question number 17 and start off with VA because you never knew what the question would be. So of course you would have to open up the entire paper and then check it out if you were only interested in starting off the VA. However, for anyone who is planning or who has planned to do all the questions straight, from question 1 onwards, would have found it very easy. For example, I in my actual CAT found it very easy because the first 3 questions were verbal ability. And because I was very quick at it, so I was able to do those 3 questions and then get on to my first RC, which made it very easy for me because that flow was created. Now that is an advantage that a lot of us would get this time also. Hopefully that CAT will have, and that will be an advantage that you will get. So you start from a question that could be a VA, and then you can take it forward to your reading comprehension. However, for this mock, the first set was a reading comprehension set, which was that fire RC. Can we have the paper? Does someone have the paper? Shashank, do you have the paper?
Yes. 1 minute देना.
I'll just quickly go through the paper once. If you can open it up. So this was an interesting paper because if you look at the reading comprehensions, the comprehensions were fairly easy. It was the VA that was tough, and comprehensions, which is generally our Waterloo, was fairly easy. So people found it definitely easier, and you can take a look at it also. The second RC was so easy, the third one also. The fourth RC also had a number of questions that were very doable. It was just the first one that was slightly tricky. So that is why probably people have found this paper to be easier than any of the other papers, any of the CAT actual papers, where the RCs are generally tougher. Shashank, are you able to open up the PPT or the PDF?
Yes, ma'am. बस 1 minute. मैं कर रहा हूँ.
ठीक है. Thank you. क्या मैं ओपन अप कर दूं?
नहीं, हो गया.
हो गया? Okay.
हाँ.
Thank you.
हाँ.
GP had a class, so he had to leave.
All right. So let's look at this. The first passage was a reading comprehension, and we started off with this. Now, this was the trickiest passage of all the passages.
Can I interject you for 1 second before you start?
Yes, please.
Shubham has asked a question which needs to be answered immediately. Sir, in VARC, would you suggest RC first, then grammar questions? Beta, grammar, CAT mein, grammar is not asked. Okay, it is VARC is not grammar. Okay, grammar will come in exams like NMAT and SNAP, which is important. But at this stage in CAT test, grammar nahi hota, VARC hoga. We will touch on your question after some time. Yes, ma'am. Sorry.
All right. Thank you, Sazil. Yes, guys, just for your information, VA will be para jumbles, para summary, odd sentence placement, and sentence placement. These will be the 4 types, and of course reading comprehension. So thankfully there are no grammar questions here, but when you will go to SNAP and NMAT and ZAT, you will have plenty of grammar and vocabulary questions. So here is a paper which is more focused on reading. Please understand, CAT by now has almost understood the kind of thing it is expecting from its students, and which is a lot of expertise in reading comprehension, in reading. And that is why VARC is totally focused on reading, whether it is the VA questions, which are also para-based. Sazil, I'm sure you will agree, it is also reading. And the reading comprehension, of course, is purely passage-based. So entire paper actually is focused upon reading. So if
so like we say, na, ki RC skills are continued in the rest of the types of questions, whether it's para-jumble or odd sentence
exactly. Exactly. Right. The same skills. If your reading skills are strong, you'll be able to take it forward. So, all right. So this passage, the fire passage, was the toughest probably of all the 4 passages that we had. If you look at the spice trade one, or the loss of confidence one, or the Gen AI, which was, I think I found it to be the easiest one. This was probably...
I agree with you. Because इसमें क्या था पता, you had to go searching, वो names के basis पे you had to go searching what did he say, exactly. What did he not say, and match it up. So that was the tough.
हाँ, वो खोजने वाला जो process था. Also, if you looked at the other passages, the questions are very straightforward. So if you were to see the spice trade passage, Shashank, can you just scroll down a little bit? You just go to the spice trade passage. Yeah, the next one. Yes, this was the one. So now this one was absolutely a cakewalk, for instance. So if you were to just look at the questions also, Shashank, can you just scroll the question? Thank you so much. I'm just going to beg you to keep doing that. Yes. If you just look at this, now which factor contributed significantly to breaking the Arab monopoly on the spice trade around 120? If you have just scanned the paper also, if you had just scanned the RC, you would have been able to mark this question in 30 seconds. Similarly, the next one, what marked the turning point in the spice trade, again was very, very simple. Similarly, question number 12, which said, what were the factors that led to the decline of spice trade? Now, these questions were actually very straight and very simple. So, if you have just done a first basic reading of the passage also, you would have been able to pick these answers. And that is why probably that chart of ours that was showing all the green bars, that happened in this passage, that all the questions were absolutely very, very easy and very doable. Yes, okay. Prakash says, can we go from 3 RCs and 4-5 BA questions while taking the mock as a strategy? Absolutely, you can. You can. Absolutely. If you have to look at the other passages also, Shashank, मुझे बाकी दोनों passages भी एक बार scroll करा दो, please. Yeah,
Next
you'll be
day, ma'am. Cantric
question
Lamar.
number 15. We'll just
Question
go to
number
15.
15.
Yes, 15 to 18. Now, this passage was slightly tough to read. If you compare it with the spice trade passage, or if you compare it with the fire passage, the level of difficulty of reading this passage was difficult. Okay, so it took a little bit of time for you to read. The questions, however, were again very easy. Even though the question said, what is an inference? The other questions actually asked you for specific details. For example, according to the passage. Now, the minute we see that according to the passage, I know this is going to be something that is going to be there. So all I had to do was look for the keyword, go to the passage, check. Of course, this was an except question, so we had to eliminate all that was written there. And then whatever remained was your answer. Question number 16 was an inferential question, which, of course, again, not very difficult because author's views were very clear about loss of confidence. So anyone who had read the passage well would have been able to pick this up. And 17 and 18 again were all according to the passage questions. So the good thing about this set was again very easy, very doable. The passage was a little difficult to read. So that's where you might have had a difficulty in reading. But other than that, the questions were fairly easy. Shashank, can we go to question 19 to 22 also? I'll keep scrolling. Yes, thank you. Now, generative AI. AI is a topic, Sazil, I'm sure you will agree, that's crazily there in all the exams. Right now, if you look at CAT, had one AI. If you look at any place, any of the exams, AI is hot. And it's really,
Absolutely.
really hot. So if you are reading up on AI, there will be lots of perspectives that you will be able to pick up. For example, here we had spoken about the energy consumed while doing a chat GPT or a DeepSeek search. So again, very readable passage, not difficult. The FK grade would be around 12 to 13. So therefore, that's something that is fairly readable. The questions, yes, there were a couple of questions that were tough. Now, if you look at the first question, which was the main point, that was a very easy question. If you had just read energy loss in generative AI, that was easy. The second question and the third question were the toughies. Now, that's where the minute he said the author would support all of these, you had to now go searching because now it is all understanding based. So you are looking at what the author is saying, then you're trying to apply your knowledge to what the author has said and then eliminate your options. So 20 was a toughie. Similarly, 21 also. Shashank is going, can you just scroll down a bit? Yes, 21 and 22. Now these were 22 was easier than 21 because 22 came from the very last paragraph where they had mentioned this Bashir Olivetti and the MIT colleagues. So therefore, it was definitely easier to find out. So, इस वाले mock में I am telling you, when I was solving this mock, I found it to be a cakewalk because the questions, the answers were very visible. I don't think this will happen in any further mocks, but this was a lottery for our students. If they've done it, they should have done it very well, which of course, the scores also sort of show. Okay. All right. Let's also look at the verbal questions, the VA questions.
Bilasha, one question to you. कोई एक दो क्वेश्चन तो ऐसे होते ही हैं कैट में भी which are absolute sitters जिसको हम बोलते हैं.
Absolutely. In
The idea is to
every
find them
exam,
and not let them go. I mean, you have to
absolutely,
attend.
there are at least 2 to 3 exams, and I feel at least 2 to 3 questions that you will find and that you will be able to do in a cake, in a snap of a finger.
In
I
fact,
feel that odd sentence parajumbles are one set of questions which are very easy. Somebody
right.
who's reading a lot will generally find it very, very easy to solve the odd sentence parajumbles. So, because you just have to create a sequence. For example, this question, this 24th question, which was an odd sentence parajumble, where you're talking of, a person is talking of what has happened. There's a sequence of events that is happening. So, all you had to do was create that sequence, and it was very easily visible. So, strangely, I'll tell you something, that this question is a red mark in our mock analysis. That means the students were not able to do this question. However, जब
मैं इसमें एक पॉइंट बोलता हूँ, and this is going to be important for the students as a strategy, and not just about verbal. So,
Yes.
24th question, if Abhilasha ma'am is saying was a sitter, was an easy one, doable one, right? And it is in red. Red meaning that you guys could not get it right. Most of you couldn't get it right. Right?
The
So
accuracy
it
is
came
less
out
than
as a
40%.
right.
Accuracy
So it
is
came
less
out
than
as a
40%.
so it came out as a difficult question, though it was an easy one. Now इसका क्या मतलब है? मैम आपके हिसाब से easy है, हमको difficult लगा, ऐसा नहीं है. I will tell you why it is so. Because you started from the first question, you went in the sequence, and you couldn't reach the 24th question. Or if you reached the 24th question, there was no time remaining. Which means the problem is the selection of questions. कि मैं अच्छे questions, आसान questions ढूंढ के I should finish them and then go over to the difficult ones. That will happen only when you do selection, and for that you will have to look at all the questions. And this is not true for verbal. This is more important for quant and DILR. Like Shashank was saying for DILR, it is the most important for quant in my opinion. Quant में easy questions 8th, 9th, 10th standard के छूट जाएंगे, right? Absolutely easy ones, just because you've not gone through the paper or gone through the questions in general. Right? Sorry, Abhilasha, over to you again.
No, Sazil, you were absolutely right. That when I looked at the analysis, I went into I was surprised that this question, which is a 1 minute question, and it's so easy because it's a very simple chronology. And you had to just pick 4 sentences that are chronologically together, and one sentence is not matching, and that was it. And I looked at the percentage accuracy. I think Shashank said it was 4% or 5%.
Less than 40.
Less than
40.
Less than 40%. That means very, very few people were able to do. So, an easy question, and like you said, yes, people would not have reached question 24. Or those who would have reached it, they would have just said, let me answer, let me mark something. That is probably
मुझे तो लगता है कि तीटा था तो सबने मार दिया, पढ़ा किसी ने नहीं. तीटा था, आंसर मार्क कर दो, 1 मार दो.
Exactly. Probably that is why, because this is a theta question, and this was an easy. When I was creating this, I found it easy. When I was solving it, I found it easy. So I feel that this is one question that you should have done. Okay, can we just go back, Shashank, to question 23 now? I'll just take you through the verbal questions also. Now, this was a para summary question. Or can we just go back straight up and we'll start from question number 5? We just quickly go and do from question number 5. Thank you, Shashank. 1, 2, 3, 4 was an RC. 5, 6, and 8, they were 3 sentence placement questions. And truly, the 3 sentence placement questions were actually very easy, because the options were given in such a manner that you could spot it. Like if you go back to question number 5, Shashank, can you just scroll up for a second? If you read the sentence that is supposed to be filled, it said, instead, a recent survey reported that some children in England and Wales are unable to sit up or hold a pencil. The instead says there is a contrast. So all I had to do was spot that contrasting sentence. Right? Here, some children are not able to write. So what are they expected to? They were expected to be able to have some basic skills. So if you're able to put this thought together, instead gives you a contrast, you're sorted, right? So something as simple as that all you needed to do was find that opposite sentence, and then you've got your answer. So
So,
sentence, sorry, Cecil, you were
sorry.
saying.
So,
So
Many, please.
Let me finish. So the sentence placement questions were actually very easy and very doable. So this was, and also in CAT also the sentence placement questions are fairly easy. So that's another set of questions that you should keep in your mind while looking at CAT and while looking at your mock. Sorry, Cecil, you were saying something. Yes, my bad.
I thought you had finished. I'm so sorry. So guys, instead, but, however, moreover, also, yet, these kind of words, whether it is para jumbles or whether it is para completion, these kind of sentence placement questions, it is very important to identify these indicators. These are called indicators or keywords or whatever you could call them, right? If you find them, they will help you get the answer very easily. So look for these kind of indicators. Sometimes even pronouns like it. अगर एक sentence में it बोल रहा है, what does that it refer to? If you just find that out, no, sometimes you just get the link in parajumbles or in these kind of questions. So look for these kind of indicators.
And these actually make your life so much easier. Even while you're doing reading comprehension, the contrasting conjunctions can be big clues because they actually guide you to the author's thought. So if you're able to spot that, then it makes it very, very easy. All right, Shashank, can we just go to question number 7, which is a para summary question? Now, para summary questions generally are a set of questions that people stay away from because there is so much to be read. लोग डर जाते हैं. जबकि para summary, अगर तुम सिर्फ ये करो that sentence wise you just identify what is the key thought of that sentence. And every sentence you just put down the key thought together, just two keywords, and you just pick what option has all of those. You'll be able to reach the para summary. When we are doing it in class, we have a session called identifying keywords and identifying key ideas of sentences. If you just go to that class and you pick the concepts from there, just every sentence, take the key idea and you've got your answer. So para summary lengthy लगता है, but होता नहीं है. तो थोड़ा टाइम लग सकता है मैक्सिमम, बट आंसर बहुत इजीली आ जाता है. सो अगेन दिस इज अ टाइप ऑफ क्वेश्चन दैट शुड बी डन. This time there were 3 para summary questions. One we've seen is from the students' analysis or from their attempt. One they felt was a difficult one was an easy one was a moderate one, which I think was more or less true for the para summary questions. One was a tough. The last one, the Rum Island question, was a little tough, and the other 2 questions were moderately easy, so doable questions. The odd one out, yes, I was very surprised that one question, which was the easy question, people said it was tough, but the other one again was moderately doable. So eminently doable. This mock, I think, for verbal was very, very easy for everyone. So if you have done at least 10 to 12 questions, you should have done that, and that would have made sure that you get to the 90 plus percentile. All right, I think that is it from my end. Do we have anything else in the analysis?
Yes, ma'am. There's can we go back to that graph, please? And just
yes,
we'll link this what you've discussed here to that graph also.
Yes.
So
Let's go back to the graph.
Yeah. In the meantime, ma'am, there's a question from Shiv Verma. Is it necessary to give mock? So I would like you to go first.
It is absolutely necessary to give a mock.
No, ma'am. Actually, I would suggest one thing. It's not necessary, but it is highly advisable.
Okay, highly advisable according to
If you are picking words, I would pick the word mandatory.
Absolutely.
नहीं, मुझे लगता है कि आप मैंडेटरी का मतलब करना ही करना, मतलब रिकमेंडेड
I will tell you my reason for it. So students, एक बात बताता हूँ. So I've said this before and I keep saying this for the next 5 months at least. So if you look at a train track, right, the tracks go parallel to each other, right? So your 2 train tracks to get your CAT through, one track is your preparation, the lectures, the solving, all of that. The second track is your testing and mocks. Okay, so let me explain this. सो लेक्चर हुआ, लेक्चर के पहले आपने यू माइट हैव गॉन थ्रू सम प्री रीड मटेरियल फ्रॉम द फंडा बुक, और दैट्स एडवाइजेबल, बट यू मे और मे नॉट हैव डन इट. After the class, at least you saw the class sheet, you've gone through the funda book again, then you are supposed to go to the topic tests कि चल अपने आप को let me test myself a little more, right? So you have topic test in your my zone, so you test yourself. यहाँ तक तो हो गया. What next? Because each of these questions are not going to come as single questions, but as group of questions in a section, and 3 such sections back to back. To sit for 2 hours to do that and select the questions that I can do, whether I know the topic or I logically solve the questions, even if they're quant questions. Kuch questions logically nikal jate hain. How will I even know that I am able to do them? How will I practice my selection process? How will I eliminate options in verbal, for example? कि मैं मुझे ये नहीं करना है, उसका प्रैक्टिस कब करेंगे, कैसे करेंगे? वो तो रेगुलर प्रैक्टिस में नहीं होगा, वो क्लास शीट्स विल नॉट बी इनफ, right? So to again, as simple as to be able to sit for 2 hours without a mobile phone.
I was just going to say that.
Yeah,
That's, you have to be able to develop that habit of sitting for 2 hours.
बच्चों से कैसे होगा? I can't sit for 2 hours.
I would say one thing. I will add one thing. मतलब what I tell students in the class के एग्जाम में पहला मॉक दे दो ना, तो उसमें स्कोर मत देखो, ठीक है? पहला बस मॉक दे दो, तुम्हें मोक्ष मिल जाएगा, ठीक है? क्योंकि पहला मॉक तो आदमी को यही सिखाता है कि तुम 2 घंटे बैठ भी पा रहे हो कि नहीं बैठ पा रहे हो, ठीक है? उसके बाद दिक्कत ये होती है कि लोगों को लगता है क्वांट में ये कर लेंगे, क्वांट में वो कर लेंगे, लेकिन वंस यू आर डन विद वीए देन यू आर डन विद एलआर. उसके बाद क्वांट में आधे टाइम ये लगता है यार ये क्वेश्चन किया हुआ है, सॉल्व नहीं हो रहा है, ठीक है? सो आफ्टर 80 मिनट्स दिमाग बैठ जाता है, ठीक है? सो इफ यू आर नॉट राइटिंग अ लॉट ऑफ मॉक्स, आपका दिमाग नहीं चलेगा. 80 मिनट के बाद तो नहीं चलेगा क्वांट सेक्शन में. लोगों को लगता है कि क्वांट आसान आया है, वो पेपर के बाद सब बोलते थे कि आसान आया है. पेपर के टाइम दिमाग नहीं चलता है क्योंकि यू आर टायर्ड. फटीग को कभी भी प्रिपरेशन में कोई बंदा कंसीडरेशन में नहीं लेता, ठीक है?
फटीग के साथ हैंगओवर भी होता है. सो वर्बल खराब गया, DILR खराब गया, कितना भी हो तुम क्या कर लो.
लेकिन पता है क्या, एक वर्बल के साथ बड़ी प्यारी चीज है कि वर्बल खराब हो जाता है, किसी को पता ही नहीं चलता वर्बल खराब
पता नहीं चलता.
Nobody understands.
शिट यार क्या हो गया यार ये, ठीक है? सो एलआर के बाद क्यूए का, एलआर का हैंगओवर क्यूए में बहुत तगड़ा होता है, उसमें लग जाती है अरे यार एलआर.
So we all agree that it is necessary, ना? Mandatory छोड़ देते हैं, highly commendable, let's go with the word necessary.
And the interesting thing is that at this point of time we are not having so many mocks also. We are just having maybe 1 mock or 2 mocks in a month. So just
good time to learn.
That's not a lot that is expected of you. As of now, if you write that 1 mock, you get some understanding of how you will sit for 2 hours, how many questions you should choose, learn how to choose questions also, open up the mock, pick the right questions. The topics you have done, are you able to do those well? Topics you haven't done, forget about them. But the ones you've done, are you able to handle them? So just get an assessment of your own preparation. It's nothing else. So mocks are very good that way. Don't take it as a challenge ki, oh, I have to crack this mock and I have to get 100%. No, just write it so you understand your preparation. That's the most important thing. I feel that is the most important thing in a mock.
इसके पहले जो mock, sorry, इसके पहले जो mock हुआ शशांक, I think we repeated this same thing that you said, right? That this is not the time to judge your score.
This is not the time to
just take the test, understand the test, understand yourself and your feelings कि कैसा फील हुआ, ठीक है? टेस्ट के टाइम कैसा फील हुआ, स्कोर के कैसा फील हुआ, यू नो, वो फीलिंग वापस नहीं आएगी, ठीक है?
और इसमें मैं एक और चीज भी बोलता हूँ कि मॉक जो है ना, मॉक लोग हमेशा बोलते हैं कि सर स्ट्रेटजी क्या यूज करें. मैं कहता हूँ कोई स्ट्रेटजी नहीं है, कोई स्ट्रेटजी मैं तुम्हारे लिए स्ट्रेटजी नहीं बना सकता, ठीक है? बिल्ड अप 3 strategies, 4 strategies for yourself, ठीक है? Implement in the mocks.
What works for you?
हाँ, जो तुम्हें क्लिक करेगा वो तुम्हारे लिए
strategy will emerge out of it. out of these first 3, 4, 5 mocks. So if
Exactly.
you don't do these 3, 4,
मतलब
5
मॉक स्कोर मत देखो,
merge later, too late. That shouldn't happen. तो अभी ले लो, अभी कर लो.
स्ट्रेटजी यूज करो, चेंज करो, हर दूसरे तीसरे मॉक में स्ट्रेटजी चेंज करो, यू विल लर्न.
बट शशांक, आई थिंक शिव का क्वेश्चन ये भी है कि मेरा कोर्स नहीं हुआ तो मैं कैसे दे दूं, वो उसका क्वेश्चन है. तो भाई कोर्स की जरूरत ही नहीं है, कोर्स की
तुम
जरूरत ही नहीं.
2 घंटे बैठने की प्रैक्टिस करने के लिए दे दो, ठीक है.
और
अगर
वर्बल में कोई कोर्स नहीं है.
हाँ, वर्बल में कोर्स नहीं है, DILR में कोर्स नहीं है. कोर्स तो कॉन्ट में आता है, और कॉन्ट में भी लॉजिकली क्वेश्चंस हो जाते हैं, ऑप्शन से हो जाते हैं.
नहीं, पता है सबसे बड़ी बात ये है कि वंस यू आर डन विद द सिलेबस, उसके बाद आपने पहला मॉक दिया और आपके
क्या हो जाएगा,
ठीक है, तब सोचो क्या हार्ट ब्रेक होगा. ठीक है, और पहले मॉक में आपको आता भी है ना तो भी आपका स्कोर नहीं आएगा, बिकॉज यू आर नॉट फेमिलियर विद द एनवायरनमेंट, यू आर नॉट फेमिलियर विद द स्क्रीन. आप कैलकुलेटर के साथ कंफर्टेबल नहीं है. जो कैलकुलेटर इतना गंदा सा होता है ना, उसमें स्क्रीन पे क्लिक करो, 2 एक बार दबाओ तो 3 बार दब जाता है. तो वो सारी चीजें जो है वो
तो अब है ना, हम लोग इस क्वेश्चन के लिए बच्चों को पूछते हैं, शशांक और अभिलाषा, दैट आप समझ गए भाई कि मैं और बोलूं. ठीक है भाई साहब, आप समझ गए या मैं और बोलूं, ये जब भी मेट का डायलॉग है. एनीवे, सो लेट्स मूव ऑन. ओके, कमिंग टू द ग्राफ, जो अभिलाषा मैम बोल रहे थे कि लास्ट 2 क्वेश्चन देखो, उसमें लास्ट क्वेश्चन which she was saying was easy. How many people have done it? Less than 10% people have got it right, because टाइम ही नहीं बचा होगा करने के लिए. आपने ऐसे ही मार्क कर दिया होगा. हाँ, ऐसे ही मार्क कर दिया होगा, टीटा है. ठीक है. So yeah, ma'am, any other learnings from here or should we move on?
No, I think we're done. Just for the next
Okay.
mock, choose your questions very wisely.
Right. With that word, ma'am, you can go and celebrate your birthday. We'll take
Thank
it on
you
from
so
here.
much, Sazil. I will
Thank you
take
so
your leave. Bye bye, everyone.
Yes, Shashank.
अब आते हैं अपने सेक्शन पे. तो
भाई बिफोर यू स्टार्ट, अब हम पूछ लेते हैं ना कि भाई DILR कैसा रहा, स्टूडेंट्स कितना स्कोर आया, कितना फोड़ पाए.
स्कोर तो बहुत अच्छा नहीं बोल रहा है. स्कोर में तो मेरे ख्याल से लग गई है. When I was making the mock and working on the mock, I didn't realize it is going to be so difficult. मुझे लगा कि 2 सेट तो बड़े आराम से हो जाएंगे इसमें. ठीक है, और
पहला सेट मैंने पढ़ के छोड़ दिया, द फर्स्ट सेट दैट केम, बिकॉज मेरे को लगा लैंग्वेज समझनी पड़ेगी, तो मैं अब बाद में आऊंगा करके मैंने छोड़ दिया.
हाँ, ठीक है, लेकिन कुछ सेट हैं जो एकदम सेटर्स हैं इसमें. ठीक है, उसमें कुछ जैसे आपने जो पहला सेट छोड़ा है ना, इट वाज अ गुड लीव. फर्स्ट सेट बहुत पढ़ना था, उसमें बहुत कुछ टेबल बनानी थी, बहुत करना था. ठीक है, और उतना मुझे नहीं लगता है कि करना चाहिए. छोड़ दो, नहीं समझ में आएगा, छोड़ दो. पहला वाला करने लायक भी था.
इनफैक्ट डेटा भी यही बोल रहा है. आप देखो फ्लेक्सी 1 का जो डेटा है आपका 90 परसेंटाइल 9 नहीं, जस्ट गो बैक 9 मार्क पे 90 परसेंटाइल है. 9 मार्क्स मींस 3 क्वेश्चंस. एक पूरा सेट नहीं निकलता ना आपका, तो भी 90 परसेंटाइल आ जाता, अगर बहुत ज्यादा नेगेटिव मार्किंग नहीं करके आते तो. गलत अटेम्प्ट्स, मतलब एक सेट पूरा हो जाता ना 12 क्वेश्चंस पे 95 परसेंटाइल है.
95 बन रही है. जबकि अगर आप देखो ना, ये आखिरी वाला सेट है ना, अगर मुझे लगता है कि आखिरी वाले सेट में अगर किसी ने ज्यादा नहीं सोचा होगा, अगर ये लग रहा है आखिरी वाले सेट में एक रैंडम इंफॉर्मेशन गिवन है, उस पे 4 इंडिपेंडेंट क्वेश्चन है. रूट का जो क्वेश्चन है, रूट वाला क्वेश्चन आई थिंक इट वाज देयर इन 2022. ठीक है, जिसको कुछ समझ में नहीं आया उसमें बस स्क्रीन देखो और काउंट कर लो, आपका आंसर आ जाएगा. इट वाज लेंदी. 2020 में भी था, 2022 में भी था, इस बार भी था. ठीक है, वो 4 क्वेश्चन मुझे लगा कि वो तो सब कर लेंगे. ठीक है, बस काउंट करना है, मल्टीप्लिकेशन के लिए कैलकुलेटर यूज कर लेंगे. दैट वाज द सिटर. ठीक है, अपार्ट फ्रॉम दैट अगर हम बात करें कि जैसे एक मिनट, लेट मी शेयर द स्क्रीन, मॉक खोल लेता हूं. तो मॉक में अगर बात करें तो ये वाला सेट, पहला वाला सेट तो देख के ही लग रहा है कि नहीं बहुत है, नहीं करना. ठीक है, दूसरा वाला अगर सेट देखें, ये वाला 5x5 का ग्रेड, इसमें एक जो इंफॉर्मेशन गिवन है ना, तो इस इंफॉर्मेशन के बेसिस पे आप नंबर्स भले फिल ना कर पाओ, लेकिन आप लेटर्स फिल कर सकते हो। और एक बार आपने लेटर्स फिल कर लिए तो उससे आपके 1 से 2 क्वेश्चन हो जाएंगे आराम से। अब जैसे आप क्वेश्चन नंबर 30 देखो, ठीक है, विच ऑफ द फॉलोइंग इज नॉट अ पॉसिबल थिंग। ठीक है, तो अगर आपने लेटर फिल कर लिए तो आपको ये पता चल गया कि सी नहीं होगा, ई नहीं होगा, डी नहीं होगा, बी के साथ ही कुछ बनेगा, राइट। सो इस टाइप की जो चीजें हैं वो एक आध क्वेश्चन, जैसे आपका क्वेश्चन नंबर 33 है, वो सीधे हो जाएगा अगर आपने लेटर फिल कर लिए। ठीक है, तो एक क्वेश्चन तो ये सेट पक्का देगा ही देगा। ठीक है, आई एम नॉट सेइंग दिस सेट कैन बी सॉल्व्ड कंप्लीटली, लेकिन एक क्वेश्चन जो है वो बड़े आराम से डूएबल है। शुभम, कैलकुलेटर जो है ना वो गलती तो नहीं करता है कैट में भी, बस ये है कि इट्स डिफिकल्ट टू यूज। ठीक है, उसमें क्या होता है कि तुमने माउस में एक बार 2 दबाया तो वो 3 बार दब गया, फिर तुमने एक बार उसको बैक स्पेस दबाया तो वो 3 बार मिट गया। सो इस टाइप का प्रॉब्लम तुम्हें कई बार फेस करने को मिलेगा कैट में। अपार्ट फ्रॉम दैट, वैल्यू अगर तुमने सही लिखा हुआ है तो एक्यूरेटली ही आएगी। अगर इस वाले को देखें, ये वाला सेट भी आई वोंट से कि इट वाज वेरी इजी, इट वाज अ मॉडरेट वन, लेकिन अगर तुम इसमें से सॉल्व करना शुरू करोगे, सो बेसिकली अगर आप क्वेश्चन नंबर 36 पढ़ लो, ठीक है, तो क्वेश्चन नंबर 36 पढ़ लो तो आपको ये समझ में आ जाएगा, इट्स नॉट अ डेफिनेट अरेंजमेंट सेट, इट्स अ वो वाला सेट, क्या कहते हैं, केसलेट। ठीक है, केसलेट केवल सीधे सीधे क्वेश्चन ही बोल रहा है कि अगर मल्टीपल पॉसिबिलिटीज की बात कर रहा है, मतलब डेफिनेट अरेंजमेंट तो पक्का नहीं है। आप बस थोड़ा टेबल फिल कर लो तो उससे आपका ये वाला आंसर एक निकल आएगा, क्या कहते हैं, क्वेश्चन नंबर 37 निकल आएगा, क्वेश्चन नंबर 34 निकल आएगा। 2 क्वेश्चन इसमें बड़े आराम से हो जाएंगे। ठीक है, उसके बाद अगर हम देखें ये वाला सेट, ये वाला जो सेट है इसमें इंफॉर्मेशन ज्यादा गिवन है तो ये डिफिकल्ट लग रहा है, लेकिन अगर आप इसकी टेबल बना लो, ठीक है, और स्टेटमेंट में जो लिखा है एज इट इज लिखना शुरू कर दो। और कैट में इस टाइप के जो सेट है ना, बहुत वो नहीं है कि मतलब रेयर नहीं है कि इस टाइप के सेट नहीं आएंगे, इस टाइप के सेट बहुत कॉमन है। क्योंकि अगर आप कैट के पिछले 6, 7, 8 साल के उठा के देखो ना, सो जो पैसेज लेंथ है, नंबर ऑफ पॉइंट्स की लेंथ है, वो बढ़ती ही जा रही है हर साल। ऐसा नहीं है कि कभी वो उसमें 3 स्टेटमेंट दे दिया, 4 स्टेटमेंट दे दिया, वो 3-4 स्टेटमेंट वाला जमाना गया। अब वो 7 स्टेटमेंट, 8 स्टेटमेंट, ऐसे स्टेटमेंट देके काम चला रहे हैं। तो अगर आपने टेबल बना ली तो जीवन सॉर्टेड है और सारे के सारे आंसर तुरंत आ जाते हैं इसमें। ये बड़ा प्यारा सा सेट है। इसमें मतलब ये है कि अगर आप ये सेट को कर रहे हो तो ये सेट में आपको 15 मिनट लगेगा। मैं ये भी नहीं कह रहा कि ये 5 मिनट में होने वाला सेट है, या 5 मिनट में तो नहीं हो रहा है, क्योंकि इतनी सारी इंफॉर्मेशन गिवन है। आप बस आराम से पेशेंटली बैठो, अपना आराम से जो जो लिखा हुआ है वो लिखते चले जाओ टेबल में, और टेबल बन गई, आंसर आ गए। और 4-5 क्वेश्चन जो है इसके, 5 क्वेश्चन 15 नंबर सीधे सीधे हैं इसके। और ये वाला तो इसमें आप देखो तो कुछ नहीं गिवन है, और ये पढ़ लो, हर क्वेश्चन के लिए इंडिविजुअल कैलकुलेशन है। तो अगर आपको कुछ नहीं समझ में आया तो आखिरी के 4 क्वेश्चन तो कर ही लेने चाहिए थे आपको। तो 12 नंबर तो ये वो है ही नहीं कि जहां पे 12 नंबर नहीं आ रहे, 12 नंबर तो पक्का ही आ रहे हैं आखिरी वाले सेट से। कुछ समझ में नहीं आएगा तो भी आएंगे। ठीक है, सो ये वाला जो सेट है इस पे मुझे लगता है कि इस पे काम करना चाहिए था, लेकिन आप लोगों ने सबसे ज्यादा टाइम, मुझे जो लगता है, वो पहला सेट करने में बिता दिया होगा। और एक बात ध्यान रखिए, एलआर में अगर आप सीक्वेंस में जा रहे हैं मतलब कुछ तो गड़बड़ कर रहे हैं, क्योंकि एलआर में ये जरूरी नहीं है कि पहला आसान होगा, दूसरा उससे डिफिकल्ट होगा, तीसरा उससे डिफिकल्ट होगा, ऐसा कभी नहीं होगा। एक सेट आसान होगा, आपको कभी नहीं पता होगा वो कौन सा है, पहला है या दूसरा है या तीसरा है या चौथा है। तो आपको ये काम करना है, 2, 3, 4 मिनट एक सेट पे बिताओ, 5 मिनट सेट पे बिताओ, समझ में आया ठीक, नहीं समझ में आया छोड़ो, अगले पे चलेंगे। सो दिस इज द स्ट्रेटजी दैट वी फॉलो इन लॉजिकल रीजनिंग, और ये स्ट्रेटजी हमेशा से थी, आज भी है, आगे भी रहेगी। सजील सर, इसमें कुछ ऐड करेंगे आप?
नहीं, आई थिंक यू बैंग ऑन।
आप देखो कि मतलब इसमें जो डेटा है कुछ आखिरी वाले सेट ये है जिसमें लोगों ने थोड़ा सा ठीक किया है, और पहला वाला सेट तो ये तो मैं
so, ये वही है ना, फर्स्ट एग्जाम है, फर्स्ट मॉक है। So because of this, what happens is students are still following that 1 2 sequence wala कि क्वेश्चन सीक्वेंस में जाएंगे, नहीं हो रहा है, चौथे क्वेश्चन तक शायद पहुंचे भी नहीं होंगे सेट तक, एंड दे वुड ऑलरेडी बी परेशान कि हो ही नहीं रहा है कुछ, ठीक है, like Deep said ना कि दो set was easy but I couldn't crack any and got -1, and that's okay Deep, at this stage it is okay. मैं बोल रहा हूँ don't judge yourself. ये अभी see कैट के अंदर कभी वर्बल टफ आ गया, कभी कॉन टफ आ गया, कभी DILR टफ आ गया, कभी 2 सेक्शंस टफ आ गए, ये होने वाला है, तो हमारे बॉक्स में भी ये होगा ना कभी। तो आज DILR की बारी थी तो खराब गया, तुम्हारा अकेले का खराब नहीं गया है। मैंने जैसे बोला 9 क्वेश्चंस पे 90 परसेंटाइल है, कभी मतलब हुआ ही नहीं है ये, तो इट्स ओके, इट इज जस्ट ऑल राइट, डोंट गेट वरीड बाय इट, जस्ट गो बैक एंड ट्राई टू सॉल्व देम। अगर तुमसे 1 या 2 सेट भी निकल गए ना, या 1 या 2 सेट के कुछ क्वेश्चंस भी निकल गए, तो यू आर इन अ गुड जोन, ठीक है। जस्ट मेक श्योर मेरे हिसाब से शशांक दैट दे डोंट जंप ऑन द वीडियो सॉल्यूशन सीधा, पहले खुद कोशिश करो, आधा पौना घंटा मत हो। मैं बच्चों को ये बोलता हूँ, DILR में यू आर नॉट सपोज टू गेट द आंसर, यू आर नॉट सपोज टू बी एबल टू सॉल्व द क्वेश्चंस, बट ट्राई द सेट, बिकॉज वो शार्पनिंग की एक प्रोसेस होनी चाहिए, वो प्रोसेस होना जरूरी है। सो जब जल्दबाजी में नहीं हो रहा है करके हम आंसर देख लेते हैं ना, ये सोल्यूशन देख लेते हैं, दैट विल नॉट हेल्प यू, दैट विल हर्ट यू। ये जो आते किसी ने पूछा ना कि वीडियो सॉल्यूशंस क्यों नहीं है या कहां है, दैट्स द बिगेस्ट मिस्टेक। भाई इस स्टेज पे आज तू वीडियो सॉल्यूशंस मांगना ही नहीं चाहिए, 2 दिन तो तेरे को सॉल्व करने की कोशिश किया, आए कैसे नहीं, मुझे आई हैव टू ट्राई दिस, भले नहीं आएगा, बट यू हैव टू हैव दैट एटीट्यूड so that you are sharpened, and then you go and see the solution and you are like, okay, I'll get it next time, because you tried so much that next time any such question comes, you know what to do.
And completely. And you know, if you are, I will add on to Sajid's statement that if you are not practicing, then you are not spending time on a particular set, then you are not getting a hold of the language.
Yes.
Right? Because when you see the video solution, so in video solution, people explain, okay, this statement means this, this statement means this, this statement means this. But in the exam, it's not me or it's not anyone who's going to explain the meaning of that statement. You need to comprehend that. So if you're not spending a lot of time in the comprehension of the language, you will never be able to be good at it. And one tip I'm going to give everyone to improve LR, that practicing LR is fine. The second is start solving puzzles. What I do, I solve Sudokus every day. You can pick another type of puzzle. Crossword is fine. Hidato is fine. Whichever type of puzzles you are comfortable with, start solving those puzzles, a lot of puzzles, because that sharpens your brain. So once you understand how to make cases, because if you solve any kind of puzzles, you learn one thing, that how to make cases, how to create multiple possibilities for every statement. So from there you understand things and your LR improves. Right. So Gurupriya, now it's fine. Are you comfortable now? And the art of anything. You can, I would say, in the first 3 days, you should write the mock. I think it's going to help you a lot.
Art of anything is also another problem. So art of anything, whoever you are, please feel free to reach out to me, right? Or reach out to support@careerlauncher.com with my name. It will reach me. I will look into it. Okay, I'll check with whoever is there. Okay, so don't worry. Just reach out to me. Okay, fine. Sir, Shubham is asking, can CAT exam calculator be trusted 100%? भाई trust तो कर सकता है, calculator तो अपना काम करेगा ही, ठीक है. If you put 100 into 100, it will give you 10,000 only. It will not give you 10,001. ठीक है. But the problem is, it's not a calculator that you use on your laptop or computer. How? Because we can use our numbers on the keyboard and we can just type out, right? Whatever we want to type out, 723 multiplied by 37. I can just do it like that. In CAT, it is not like that. The keyboard cannot be used for calculator. You have to use the mouse and you have to go to that number, 723 multiplied by 37. And it is a very tedious process. So as far as, and it's not bad, use करना है तो करना ही चाहिए, दिया है तो why should we not use a tool? That's the question. But where you can avoid, where mental calculation works, where you can just move on with approximations, you should learn that also. कि approximation से आंसर निकल सकता है तो मैं क्यों मेहनत करूं कैलकुलेटर खोलने की? That I'm sorry, Gurupriya, I keep forgetting and I keep talking in Hindi in between. So yeah, sorry, I'll take care.
So basically what happens when options are far from each other, then go for approximation. When options are very close to each other, then go for calculator. If options are 5.5, 5.7, 5.9, I'm going to go with calculator. I'm not going to think much, because in approximation, I'm going to get value that is going to be closer to all options. When the options are 5, 10, 15, and 20, I'm going to go with approximation, because even if I get 5.8, I know my answer is 5. So I'm very clear when I'm going to approximate, when I'm going to use calculator. Fine. So, but during the exam, I doubt myself. Everyone does. I have discussed this to my student. So when they say when I have to add 8 to 10, so you can't convince yourself that answer is 18 because you are in CAT, right? So but still you have to be little confident. A lot of times students, they do simple calculation with the help of calculator because they are scared कि भैया गलत हो सकता है, ठीक है? So do one thing, and the worst part, as Sajil has said, that the worst part with the exam is that the keyboard is not allowed. You can't touch the keyboard. So that's the problem you are going to face. So using mouse for the calculator is a little bit painful. So if you learn that's good.
It's not comfortable. Okay.
It's not. So let's move on towards QA section, quantitative aptitude. So basically, this is the data.
Okay, art of anything, don't worry about this. You just reach out to me. I'll not divulge your names. Don't worry. Okay. Yeah, sorry.
And just give me a moment. I think the quant one, it looks very close to 2024. Look at the data. 24, 99.5 was at 37, 99 was 33, 97 was 25, and look at mocks score. They are very close to the actual scores. There is not much deviation. So 99.5 was 37.
Quant is banned 2024, no?
Very close to 2024.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely bang on. So, and if you see what kind of questions, so basically, again, one thing I'm going to.
Can I say something here? Sorry.
Yes.
I can see 6 greens. Okay, 6 greens means 6 easy questions as per your attempts. 6 green questions. 6 into 3. If I only do these 6 questions, 6 3s are 18. Let's go back and see 18 score pe you have 90%. Only 6 questions, easy questions, if you pick and do right, you are at 90 percentile. Okay, sorry sir, you were saying something.
I forgot, I think, what I was saying.
So sorry.
So basically, this is the data. You can see that there are 6 greens and the attempts are decent, right? And you know what I like about this, the difficult questions, the people who got the answers wrong, in which questions? Those questions are not attempted by a lot of people. The green ones are the questions that are attempted by the most number of questions. So if you see the first one, it is attempted by a lot of people.
Everyone can understand this graph. I'll just explain. The gray part is the attempts, and the bars that you see, green, red, and yellow, is the accuracy. So if you see the peak in the gray graph, the background graph, right? That the peak in the attempts is matching the in the accuracy. That is what Shashank sir is saying, that is a very positive sign. that people knew that this was a doable question and they did it.
They did it.
They tried it and they did it. That's what you're saying, right, sir?
Yes. And yeah, I remembered what I was going to say. Okay, when you are writing a mock, right. So on the right hand corner, there is a button called question paper. Click on that. So when you open the question paper, you are going to see the whole section in one PDF format. And that is also true for actual exam. So that helps you read the question, skip the question, everything. You read question number 1, you read it, you understand. If you think that you are unable to solve it, look at question number 2 directly, then look at question number 3 directly, then look at question number 4 directly. Just scroll down. You don't have to do next. So that question paper tab, that helps a lot. Actually, that helps a lot. So this is something a lot of people don't do. I'm not sure they are comfortable with that or not. लेकिन मुझे लगता है कि वो करना चाहिए लोगों को. उसमें सरजीत सर आप क्या कहते हो इस पे?
Yeah, absolutely.
I use it for LR as well. I use it for quant as well because that helps me select the
that's
questions
called the
fast.
question paper view, guys. For your information, what sir is saying, you're saying that only, no? Question paper view wala baat kar rahe ho,
Question paper view.
Yeah, so that helps you solve easier. You can write down the answers on the sheet. I also do that only for quant.
नहीं, उसमें LR में भी मुझे लगता है बहुत हेल्प हो जाती है क्योंकि LR में you can read the whole passage और उसके 5 क्वेश्चन सीधे सीधे दिख रहे होते हैं.
Right. I have not done that. I will do that now. Yes.
तो अभी जरा देख लेते हैं कि पेपर में क्या था. What were the questions that were easy? Look at this one. This is the quant section. Question number 1. Okay. Question number 1 was, I think it was approximation. It was easy. Question number 48. Okay. I am not sure why people didn't attempt it. This question, if you read the question, draw the graph, you are directly going to get the answer. कुछ भी नहीं करना है इसमें. कुछ भी नहीं. Just read the question, draw the graph. It was extremely easy. It was hardly 1.5 minute question, लेकिन figure बनाना पड़ेगा. Now this one, question number 49, I would say that was lengthy. ठीक है. अब जैसे क्वेश्चन नंबर 50 है. क्वेश्चन नंबर 50 में क्या है कि he is buying something, he is purchasing oranges and selling them at 30% profit. So let's say his cost price was X, then selling price was 1.3x. So the answer should be multiple of 1.3. There is only one option, that is option 2. खत्म. कुछ नहीं करना था क्वेश्चन नंबर 50 में. क्वेश्चन नंबर 50 का एक्यूरेसी अच्छा है, लोगों ने किया है. But this is the approach I am going to tell people, that this is the best approach to solve this question. Okay, the cost is X, selling price is 1.3x, your answer should be multiple of 1.3. There is only one option, khatam. That's it. Question number 51, I would say it was little tricky. Square करना पड़ेगा 2 बार, then solve it. Question number 52, तो मतलब इतना बड़ा गंदा नंबर दिया हुआ है कि I'm not sure people are able to understand that this number is actually 3 power 12. So that is a little bit problem. In question number 53, just make the equation and use the options. You are directly going to get the answer. कुछ नहीं करना है question number 53 में. If you don't understand what is the actual way to solve this question, I would say one thing: just make the equation and just use the option. Put the value in the equation. You will get the answer very easily. ज़्यादा hectic नहीं है ये. Question number 54, at this stage, I am not sure that anyone would be able to do. ठीक है. Question number 55, again, this is not a question. Then if you are starting right now, then question number 55 तो आपसे पक्का ही नहीं होगा, because it use a lot of basic concepts of geometry, basic concept of coordinate. तो वो question नहीं हुआ तो कोई बात नहीं. I won't worry much about it. Question number 56, again, I would say it's a little difficult at this point of time. Eventually, this question is going to be extremely easy after 1.5 months. ये वाला जो है 57, ये भी आसान सही है, सॉरी आसान इस पॉइंट पे तो नहीं है। कुछ समझ में नहीं आता है तो मैं क्या करता हूँ कि सीधे पुट x इक्वल टू -3 एंड सी वेयर इट गोज। टाइम एंड वर्क का क्वेश्चन है, ऑप्शन नहीं है, सो इट माइट बी लिटिल ट्रिकी। क्वेश्चन नंबर 59 छोड़ने वाला है, मतलब इफ यू रीड क्वेश्चन नंबर 59, रीड फॉर 10 सेकेंड्स, 15 सेकेंड्स, 20 सेकेंड्स, एंड ये क्वेश्चन मुझे इतना प्यारा लगता है कि read it for 30 seconds, 35 seconds and leave it because it's not going to waste a lot of time. ये 45 seconds में क्लैरिटी दे देगा, हमसे तो नहीं हुआ, ठीक है। So that's the reason I like 50 question number 59 because it is not a question that is going to waste your time. Mod वाला question, I can't say that you are able to solve this question at this point of time or not. Question number 61 is extremely easy. Assume this value is 300, 400 and 300 and you are directly going to get the answer very easily. कुछ नहीं करना है इसमें भी. Now the next one and the next one. This question is easy if you assume the numbers. There are 5 natural numbers such that average of first 2 numbers is 1 less than the second number. तो यहाँ पे वेरिएबल अज्यूम मत करो, डोंट अज्यूम वेरिएबल्स, अज्यूम द सेकंड नंबर इज 2. नाउ द एवरेज ऑफ फर्स्ट नंबर एंड सेकंड नंबर इज 1 लेस देन द सेकंड नंबर, मींस एवरेज ऑफ फर्स्ट नंबर एंड सेकंड इज 2, सॉरी 1. सो फर्स्ट नंबर शुड बी 0 एंड प्रोसीड अकॉर्डिंगली. वैल्यू पुट करते चले जाओ, वेरिएबल मत लो. इफ यू आर गोइंग टू टेक वेरिएबल्स, दिस क्वेश्चन इज गोइंग टू बी एक्सट्रीमली लेंथी. नहीं करना है, वैल्यू अज्यूम करो, जस्ट अज्यूम द वैल्यू. इफ यू आर एबल टू अज्यूम द वैल्यू, ये पट से हो जाएगा. Now the next one is again quadratic equation. If you have solved it, then it's fine. Question number 64. This was easy question, TSD, doable. Question number 65. Again, if you were able to make the figure of this question, you can solve it. Otherwise, you should leave it. अगर फिगर बना लिया तो ये तुरंत हो जाएगा, इसमें कुछ भी नहीं है करने के लिए. Question number 66, I would say it was log का वही है कि अगर log आता है तो ये आसान है, log नहीं आता है तो ये difficult है. This one a question of I would say direct formula based question of replacement. So I think this is a question that must be done by everyone. And again, question number 68, if you know mod, it's easy. So I think at this point of time, I would say close to 4 to 5 questions were there that could be solved easily. और मैं ये 4 से 5 क्वेश्चन उन लोगों के लिए बोल रहा हूँ जिन्होंने अभी अभी पढ़ना शुरू किया है. मींस द पीपल हु हैव स्टडीड फॉर 1 month, 1.5 months, फॉर देम 4 to 5 डूइंग 4 to 5 क्वेश्चंस इज इजी. ठीक है. जिन लोगों ने 3 महीने पहले पढ़ा हुआ है और एनीवन इज कंफर्टेबल विद क्वाड्रेटिक इक्वेशन और लॉग और मॉड, फॉर दोज पीपल at least 8 to 9 questions are easy. But for anyone who has started studying just now, for them doing 5 questions, getting 4 questions, getting 5 questions is just a piece of cake. Getting 90-95 percentile will not be a difficult task.
And at that point, it's okay even if you couldn't do in the test. Even if you do it outside the test and can do it, find an OCAD score, and you can do 5 questions like sir said, be happy about it.
Yeah.
And try to find by the next test, you should try to find 1 or 2 more questions. In every test, 1 or 2 more questions. That's all you have to try.
And in the first mock, again, why I am skipping a lot of questions, why I'm not saying that a lot of questions are easier, because I don't want to demotivate anyone, because there are a lot of topics that students haven't studied yet.
We will study them.
January में शुरू किया है. So anyone who has started studying in January or February, वो लोग अभी तक maximum TSD तक ही पढ़े होंगे. So those people haven't studied about number system. Otherwise, the question of remainder was extremely easy if you know how to calculate remainders. That was not a difficult question. So, but for that, if you know the totient function or other things, it will be easier.
Right.
The art And this guy, the art of reading is saying that you are facing problem on computer screen, but the problem is the actual exam is going to happen on the computer screen. You can't get away
Better
from it.
practice it that way. Yeah. Start practicing.
So for
Shashank,
that,
can we go back to the slide? Yes, you were saying something. Sorry. What are you
तो
saying?
मैं उसमें ये बोल रहा हूँ कि मैंने अभी बच्चों को थोड़ी टाइम पहले से ये सजेस्ट करना शुरू किया है कि when you practice, even if you have a book, I would say take a photo, put it in computer and study.
Read. Yeah, and by the way, in your MyZone, you have a reading zone section. You can use that for practice. Right, so you can see that there are 6 questions doable. If you take the yellow ones into account, there are 7 more questions. So basically 13 questions in all, right? If you have 13 questions, go back, sir, go back. Thoda sa, 1 minute. If you have 13 questions, out of a good 22 questions, 9 questions were meant to be left out.
9 questions were meant.
So by the time you reach August, September, October, you should figure out what are those 7, 8, 9, 10 questions that I'm supposed to not do. If you're sure about that, you have won half the battle.
और I would say one thing, क्वांट में ये जो वाला ग्राफ है ना, ये ग्राफ हमेशा ही सेम रहेगा थ्रू आउट द ईयर.
It will remain the same.
पिछले साल भी सेम था. It is going to be approximately the same. There are going to be 7, 8 questions instead of 6. It is going to be 7 or 8 questions.
Yeah.
They will be sitters. And yellow zone and green zone will be in total maximum of 15, 16 questions, not more than that. And
Right.
there is
art
of sorry.
Question है art of anything ka, until when should you finish the CAT syllabus? Basically you should finish the syllabus by, so that depends on the batch you belong to, by the way. So if you had already joined 3 months back, 5 months back, then you should finish by August. But if you just started, it might go on till September or October. It depends on when you start. But ideally, if you ask me, August end is the right time. Latest. Earliest you want to do it, you do it by July half. Your way. But we will plan to finish the course by August end for the early batches, and for the later batches, it will be after that.
And I would say, don't rush into finish the syllabus.
Don't rush. Agreed.
Understand. सिलेबस खत्म करके कोई कुछ नहीं पढ़ रहा. ठीक है, वो क्लास में सिलेबस हो गया तो क्या कर लिया? Are you able to solve questions of those topics that has been covered in the class? That's more important. So there is no deadline. So if you know if you are comfortable with arithmetic and algebra, and you know everything in arithmetic and algebra, you are good to go. That's it.
Right. So let's go to the last one, last slide. Last or second last, whatever it is. Yes. So what are the takeaways? Very beautiful. Take mocks, whether the preparation has happened or not. Even if you started your course yesterday, you should take mocks. Okay. This is your second mock, Flexi mock 1. Okay. Avoid the questions that you are not sure about. You can, if you're not sure about it, let it go. Otherwise, you'll go negative. Don't make guesses. Don't make wild guesses. This is not a game of guess. It is a costly game because it's 1/3 negative marking. Okay, so it's a costly mistake if you take fluke attempts, right? Attempt questions that you are confident about. Give enough. By the way, the second and the third point are opposites. Okay, so avoid what you're not certain about. Attempt what you are certain about. But there are a lot of questions in between. So do experimentation. Like Shashank said, do experimentation and learn. But learn. Next time, don't do the same mistake again. Okay, so that is how you should go about it. Fourth point is give enough mock tests for practice. You have good 31 mocks. Make sure you don't miss them. Okay, the more mocks you give, the better it is for you. Spend a few hours, and ideally, as I said, 3 to 4 hours solving and analyzing a mock right now is the right time period to put at least 3 to 4 hours. You can put more than that. No problem. And this exercise of analyzing mock should be done 48 hours within the 48 hours of the mock taken. And that is the ideal way to do it.
And I would like to add, there are a lot of students who think that I'm not going to write a mock right now. I'm going to write one mock every day once my syllabus is done. That is the biggest mistake that you can do. One mock per day is, I would say, it's sheer stupidity.
It's a cat suicide.
It's a nahi hoga ye. Matlab, if basically mocks tell you what are your strength areas, what are your weak areas, and you work upon them.
So unless you are able to completely thoroughly analyze and strategize, analyze this mock and strategize for the next, so you need that gap in between always.
Right. So if you figured out this is your weak area and you are not working on the weak area before the next mock, the next mock is useless. So wo kaam to karna hi padega. So, and that's how you improve, and improvement is a slow process. Okay. So Sajin sir, you want to add anything else?
No, I think we are done, Shashank. I would just like to wish the students all the very best for the next mock. Right? Do not get demotivated. Don't judge yourself at this juncture. Only learn and move on. I think that's the only thing to do. Your daily dose, Shashank sir, you announce this. It is your effort.
We are going to start daily dose from 17th March. So at this time, so मैं आपको daily dose का structure बता देता हूँ. So what is the structure of daily dose? So when we start, we have one section of quant and one section of RC on the first day. Second day we have one set of LR and one set of VA questions, and it goes alternatively, and it goes till 15th of September. After 15th of September, you get everything every day. So bus.
Okay. Sectional tests, yeah. Go on.
Sectional tests are going to be started from 15th of April, and after 15th of April, there will be 3 or 5 sectional tests will be live. After that, after 15 or 20 days, another will be live, and after 15-20 days, another will be live. So overall, I think there are going to be 15 sectional tests for every section. Mohit, yes, there will be video solution of daily dose. Don't worry about it. There is going to be video solution.
But again, don't rush for video solutions. Okay.
Don't rush.
First try the questions only. Don't rush. Okay, race. This I want to announce. Race to 99 percentile head start. The second round. Last month we did the first round. This is the second round, which is coming on 23rd of March. This March, after 13 days. Okay, so RT99 is already there. Hope you have registered for it. If you've not registered already, please do. And make sure you solve the CAT 23 ka slot 1 paper and come. It will be an interesting discussion. We'll be discussing a lot of strategy and stuff there. Yeah, okay. What next? Thank you. Thank you, Shashank. Thank you, students. Have a good day.
Okay.